Okay, so another off-script rant, I guess, because I have nothing better to be doing. This one is about diversity in media, such as comic books, movies, and TV shows, and video games and such. Um, so I'm just going to be giving my views on it like usual, I guess. But to start off, I don't think diversity is a bad thing. Um, of course it is kind of necessary for realism, like if you have an American comic, you're gonna see some black people, you're gonna see some Asian people. It's not all white people. Like Marvel used to be pretty much only white heroes back in the day, and it's the same with DC. But now I think that they're blackwashing a bit too much. Well, that's obviously a play on the words of whitewashing, where they made black characters white. Um, but like certain characters are black, and it's part of their identity. Like Luke Cage. You can't say he can be a white person because that's not part of his storyline. He's from Harlem, I think. I don't know. I don't watch the show, and I don't read the comics anymore. Um, but I was watching videos earlier this morning where this black interviewer, well, it doesn't really, I don't know why I mentioned his race. It doesn't really matter too much because a white person could ask this question too. But he asked, you know, George R. R. Martin, the author of the Game of Thrones books. He asked him, why is there so few people of color in the show and the books? And George R. R. Martin, he had his responses. They're written by white people. It's about white lore. It's part of the culture. It's part of the it's he basically said the truth. It's most of the people writing them are white people. It's based off of white fantasies, white myths. You're not going to see a black person in them. Like if I'm thinking of old Gaelic legends. You don't hear about black people in Ireland talking to leprechauns very often, and I agreed with them on that. But also, it's based in Europe. You know, wasn't very many blacks and Asians and Hispanic people. Well, there was Hispanic people in the Hispanic parts of Europe, but there wasn't very many of them in Britain, Ireland. There's very few back then, and it's like they expect George R. R. Martin to add black people, to add Asian people, and for one, when it's not in Westeros, when it's in Estos, when it's in the area where there are people of color, you can see people of color, just like no white people. So I could make the argument, why is there no white people in the people of color areas? The answer to that, there are areas full of people of color. It's like the same. It's the yin to the yang of the other one. It's a white area, there's white people. It's a colored area, it's colored people. It's back then, that's just the way it was. It wasn't so diverse back then. And so yeah, that's what I think about the Game of Thrones one. Because this woman, I think she made it the end of last year or the beginning of this year, and she was saying that there's more gingers in Game of Thrones than there are people of color. And again, that's because it's Europe, and Ireland, Scotland, and Britain are known for, red-headed people, and I can't even think of very many red-headed people in it. There's like Sansa, um, the Red Priestess. Nah, I'm shit with the fucking names now. That fucking wildling guy. you know, uh, I do watch Game of Thrones. It's just I'm shit with names. But yeah, there's like 5, 6 redhead characters that I couldn't think of at the moment. But you know, that's that's just the way it was back then. There were more fucking gingers than there were black people. It's like, okay, here in Wexford, I only know like 2 or 3 black people, and I know I can name so many ginger people, and that's today. That's in a diverse country. Well, pretty diverse, not as diverse as America, but like it's not racist to say that there weren't many black people around in Europe back then because it was true. But yeah, that most of the video is going to be about that Game of Thrones thing now. But yeah, like Marvel, I think is putting too much stock into diversity now, adding like LGBT shit, SJW shit. I mean, yeah, LGBT should be, I guess it should be represented realistically, but I think Marvel's gone a bit too far. They're pushing the fucking envelope. It's like they're pushing an agenda, and a lot of people don't like that. Whereas DC is right now, in my opinion, DC is a bit more realistic when it comes to that shit. And on the television, almost every show has a gay person. I guess that's realistic. A lot of them have trans people. Fair enough. I don't really give a shit. Um, I can't really think of many TV shows that are going a bit too far when it comes to racial diversity and sexual diversity, but I do know a lot of people were annoyed at the Luke Cage show because they said too many black people. It's in a black area. That's stupid. It's based around a black character living in a stereotypically black area. There's gonna be black people. Get over it. Um, I don't really think that there's much more I can say other than you know the character Captain America. He's like replaced by a black guy. A lot of people are mad at that, but I think it fits with the story. But yeah, that's all I can really think of. So, like I said, this is off script, so it's just like a 7.5 minute rant or whatever. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. You probably didn't, but like it and subscribe to me and watch my other videos. And yeah.